Alright, here we go. It's 5cc here, back with another video. Today, I will be ranking every single elemental master that's mainly been prominent in the show. Now, this list, as you can see, does not include the ninja, because if I included them, it would be pretty unfair, and I already plan on doing a ninja ranking video at some point in the future. And this also doesn't include the Forbidden Five, because yeah, they are elemental masters, but it would be way too unfair because they're kind of their own group of elemental masters. But yeah, now this isn't every single elemental master, because some of them aren't even named in the show, but these are really the ones who have played a role in the show. But yeah, I hope you guys um enjoy the video. Yeah. First up we have Ray. Now keep in mind, a lot of these elemental masters probably do not have their elemental powers anymore. I'm just ranking them based on their character and how good they were when they had it. But first up, we have Ray, the previous Master of Fire before Kai, and I'd say he's pretty A tier. Now we have seen him like in a few flashback episodes, and we have also seen him in season 7. Granted, he didn't have his fire power. He kind of lost it because, he ended up giving it to Kai. But I think it's pretty fair to put him up there. But next up, we have Maya, which is Kai and Nia's mother. She was the master of water, and I do think she should be higher. But water, I really care less for the element of water. I mean, I do think it's a pretty cool element, but yeah, that's really all I can say. Now, there are a lot of elemental masters. If you're fans of the show, you would recognize that I don't have. Like, I don't have the previous master of ice. I don't know his name. No one knows his name. And I think we only saw him, like, use his power once. And I don't really want to rank him based off of that. And I'm also not necessarily ranking them off of their elemental power. It is also their character. But next up we have Lily, and I'd say she's a pretty S tier elemental master, S tier character, or maybe I'd even say A tier, just because I feel like we need to see more of her. She's the mother of coal and a previous master of earth. Now, the show really established a lot of lore about Lily in season 13, Master of Mountain. If you haven't seen it, I do recommend going to watch it. But so I had to pause the recording. But yeah, Lily was a pretty cool character throughout the show. So yeah, Mother of Coal. She even had previously had Coal's Titan mech, that whole set. Yeah, she was the previous owner of that set. But yeah, I think she was a pretty good character. Yeah, she has passed away in the show, but from what we've seen of her, and it's also kind of hard to rank the elemental masters who don't have their powers anymore, who have passed away, and that we haven't really seen in the show. But next up, we have the Time Twins. This might be controversial, but I consider them S tier, or maybe A tier, maybe right here. I love the power of time. It's a pretty cool elemental power. It is technically 4 elemental powers combined into one, but Crux and Necronics, I think they were amazing during season 7. Their villains during the show were kind of bad, but anyways, that considered, I liked a lot of the flashback. I just really like these characters. It's just such an unfortunate waste what their characters were ended up being used for. But yeah, I think overall I'd say they're pretty good elemental masters. Next we have Griffin Turner. I'd say maybe he's B tier. I mean, he was the master of speed, but I do like his character. I think he's a goofy, funny character during season 4 and season 9. I don't know if you've seen him after season 9, but I mean, I may like Maya a little more than him. But anyways, we have Gravis. I'd say C tier, just because we only really saw him use his elemental powers a couple of times. And I actually do have this Gravis minifigure. It's a pretty cool minifigure. Gravity is kind of like a whatever elemental power, but I'd say it's C tier. I don't think it's bad. Nature, Belobo was the master of nature, but I mean, Belobo didn't really do much in this show. I don't really like his elemental power, so he's D tier. Jacob, I think he's a better character than Belobo, but the power of sound. I don't believe he controls sound anymore. I think that power now belongs to a different unnamed character or whatever. But I do have this. I have all three of these minifigures, but I don't really care for Jacob. I mean, I kind of like his character, but his elemental power is just kind of lame to me. But then we have Nero. I do feel like Nero should be higher, but I don't really care for his character. I don't really care for the elemental power of mine. But I think it's better than those other powers. So, and I'm not ranking it only off of the power, just off of the character, but maybe I put him right here or right here because he has been very helpful to the ninja throughout the show, especially season 9. He helped Lloyd out with the resistance, but Ash, okay, Ash didn't have any line in the show. So I would want to rank him higher up, but I think I'll just rank him here. I think the later elemental master of smoke is a better master of smoke than him, and you will see that later. But next though we have Tox, which is actually Toxikita. She's the master of poison. I could really care less for her, to be honest. But I think her elemental power is kind of cool. I just wish she did more in the show. She's certainly done more than Belobo, in my opinion. But next, though, we have Mr. Paleman, the Master of Light. I don't know why they call it light. It's just invisibility. Now, we have seen a lot more of him during Dragons Rising Season 2, Part 2, Tournament of Sources. And for that, I think I'll put him a little bit higher than some of these other characters. I'd probably even put him in B tier. Maybe I put Tox right here. But next up we have Shade. I love Shade, the Master of Shadow. Maybe I put him in B tier. I think that's a pretty fair assessment to put him in. But Master of Shadow, he was a pretty cool character during season 4. Not much else I can really say though. And yeah, this is probably going to be a very long video. So yeah, make sure to grab your popcorn, grab a soda, and it's probably too late to say this in the middle of the video. Carlo, one of my favorite elemental masters. That isn't a ninja, by the way. He can just like clap his fist and become a huge metal man. I love it. Only thing problem is that it kind of just makes you slower, but it makes you stronger. And strength is more than power, I guess. And then we have Shamil or Camille, the Master of Form. I don't really care for this character, to be honest. Form is a great power, but I mean, the Oni can shapeshift. Formlings can shapeshift, albeit they can only shapeshift into animals, but I don't really know why form needs to be an elemental power. It kind of just seems to be like a special ability that certain groups of people or species can use in Ninjago. But then we have Skylar. I'm putting her A tier just because she's the master of Amber. Basically, if she touches you, she gets a copy of your elemental power. And maybe I'd even put her above. I mean, I'm also ranking her this high because I love her character. But Skylar, I say she's a pretty S tier character. S tier elemental master as well. But Moro, yeah, Moro would obviously beat anyone. He was the master of Wind. I say was because now there is a new master of Wind. I just realized, okay, yeah, I put Time Twins out too early because it was the Moro was first and then the Time Twins. So yeah, the last elemental master we really got before Dragons Rising were the Time Twins. But Moro, I love Moro. He's my favorite villain of all time. Wind is probably one of my favorite elemental powers, or near there, not quite my favorite, but yeah, Moro, what can I say? He wanted to be the Green Ninja, but couldn't. He kind of struck out against everyone, but he used his power of wind very, very well against the ninja back in Season 5, Possession. But next up, these are going to be all of the new Elemental Masters. And again, this doesn't include the Ninja or the Forbidden Five. But next up, we have Sora, the Master of Technology. We've seen her a lot during Dragons Rising, and I don't know. I'll probably put her. I don't think she's quite at the level of these other characters, but maybe I put her above the Time Twins, just because I like her more than the Time Twins. Power of technology, very, very cool elemental power. I'd like to see how they use her powers more in the future. But for what she does, it's a pretty cool power. Next up, we have Wildfire. I don't really like, I mean, I don't hate Wildfire, but I don't really like her character as much. But I do think she's better than some of these other characters, so maybe I'd put her right here. I think that's a pretty fair place to put her. Maybe right here. Next up, we have Euphrasia, and I actually do like how she uses her power. Put her at the bottom of A tier. She's the current Master of Wind. Not explain how she got it, but I think we're gonna explain that after the merge, a bunch of weird things just happen to elemental powers. That's really the only thing that I can explain, or that has been explained. But next up we have Geo. He's the master, I think, of combination or combo. He basically can use his powers to combine different things. So it's basically like technology, but technology only combines technological advancement. Combo really kind of combines anything. I don't know if it works on technology though, but you get my point. I think Geo or Geo, I think his name is Geo. I think it's a pretty cool power, but I don't really care for the character, so I'll put him on C tier. But Cinder, one of the greatest elemental masters. He's the current master of smoke, and he's way 10 times better than Ash. We only saw Ash like use an action like one time, but I think Cinder is an amazing character. But Fract, I don't really like Fract as a character. I don't really care. His power is Quake, and Quake's not really that good of an elemental power. It's just like a knockoff of Earth. But I put him in B tier just because I don't really know why I'm putting him in B tier. I'll put him at the bottom of C tier. Now this is actually an image of Empress Beatrix, because I couldn't find a good image of Beatrix. They both basically look the same, but Beatrix has the power of Shockwave, which I can't really explain what Shockwave is. I guess it's kind of like lightning. I don't know. I'll put it in D tier, or maybe I'll put it C tier. Maybe I'll put it right here. But next up we have, I don't even remember her name, but she was the master of balance. I don't think balance should be an elemental power, so I'll just put it down here. This guy, I don't know his name either. I don't think they even gave him a name. The next few characters don't really have names. They aren't really important, but I still felt it was important to add them in the video. But yeah, he's the current master of sound, but I could care less. The next guy, he was the master of size, but I don't know why size needs to be an elemental power. I don't even think he used it in the tournament. Or maybe he did. It's been a while since I've seen season 2 of Dragons Rising. Next up, we have Xantan, which is the master of plants, which is like a knockoff of nature. I don't think that needs to be an elemental power. But next up, we have not Kerr, but Zer. I forgot what Devonian. He's the master of reflex. I think this is a pretty great elemental power. Maybe I put it below technology. It's kind of like speed, but it just gives you fast reflexes, which is very, very good in a defense scenario. But next up, we have this character. It's one of those craglings, but they have the power of dash. I I don't know why they gave them dash. That's just kind of stupid. Next up, we have this character. She's the master of surface tension, which is basically bubbles. I think that's one of the worst elemental powers in this show. Out of all the things, they could have used sand or obsidian or glass or wood. They could have used made any other elemental power up, and bubbles was the thing they stuck with. Yeah, next up we have, I think, Figmentation, which basically allows you to make clones of yourself, and I think it's a pretty good elemental power, all things considered. Not one of my favorites, but I say it's a bottom of the B tier element. But anyways, this was a pretty quick video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was kind of out of ordinary because, well, you know why. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.